We've all used the term daylight robbery, but for those who are unfamiliar, it's a term we use when we feel like we're being overcharged or charged over the odds for goods and services. But where does it come from? It's related to this. In 1696, King William III of England needed money. He owed the Dutch for equipment they provided to help him overthrow James II, and the 9 Years' War in Ireland had taken a massive financial toll. On top of that, he was still battling allies of James II in Scotland, and there was a currency crisis in England. King William needed money, and it's safe to say he needed it fast.
Before 1696, people in England paid a half tax. This meant that they had to pay tax on every single stove and fireplace in their home. This isn't a history on tax, but it's relevant, I promise. One of the problems with this half tax was that the inspectors had to come into your homes to count every single stove and fireplace, thus invading people's privacy as they did their jobs. And they were working on commission, so they really wanted to do their jobs.
It was repealed in 1688, but in 1696, William introduced the duty on houses, light and windows, also known as the window tax. Now, tax inspectors no longer needed to enter people's homes. They just simply counted the windows from outside. The more windows you had, the more tax you paid, and you can't hide a window. It would cost each household 2 shillings for up to 10 windows. That's about £10 today. Not a lot, but people were being charged for natural light. It was only supposed to be temporary, but by 1718 people had found a way around paying this tax. They began bricking up their windows. Less windows, less tax, and revenues plummeted.
In 1745, The Lancet, a medical journal in England, called King George's tax on glass an absurd impost on light. So not only were people being taxed for windows, but they were taxed for the glass as well. This had a major influence on how houses were built and also whole villages, and that can still be seen today. In 1797, Prime Minister William Pitt tripled the window tax, and it was reported that at least one street bricked up every single window.
The fear was so great of this tax in the USA, it caused Dutch and German settlers to raise arms and rebel. The rebellion took 2 years to settle down. Meanwhile, landlords in London, in efforts to save money, had started covering the windows in their properties. Whole floors were robbed of natural light, turning them into damp, squalid hovels.
A scientific study confirmed that a lack of fresh air and light increased risks of typhus, smallpox and cholera, but yet the window tax remained. People had had enough. They started protesting with pamphlets, speeches and mass gatherings. In 1845, Prime Minister Sir Robert Peel revoked the glass tax, but the window tax still remained.
In 1850, a motion was placed before Parliament to abolish the window tax. It didn't pass. Then, finally, in 1851, after one more year of speeches, pamphlets and demonstrations, the hated window tax was finally gone. During the debates, MPs were said to have shouted, "This is daylight robbery!" And that is where the term comes from. So, now you know. Until next time, thanks for watching.